Hello folks, shintigercurl here, that dude in the straw hat, bringing you yet another wrestling review. I'm of course joined by my faithful cohort and roommate, Joe. Say hi, Joe. He's sad about Jay Lethal. And why is he sad? Well, Jay Lethal got released this week, but for me it's a good thing because they weren't using him, and he could really do better elsewhere, either in the E or in ROH. So, to you, Jay Lethal, the Black Machismo, I'll give you a good luck, and good luck on your future endeavors. Anyway, it's Thursday night. You know what that means. Time for some Impact. Now, this will be the Backlash episode, where all the fallout from TNA's Lockdown pay-per-view from last Sunday will be felt. Will it be good? Will it be bad? Got my notes. Let's start. AJ comes out, AJ Styles, having returned at Lockdown, and he descends from the top of the rafters inside of a steel cage full of weapons. He says it's good to be back, and the first person he calls out, of course, is the man who put him on the shelf, Bully Ray. And he dares him to come out, and they have a nice little old brawl inside of a steel cage full of weapons. Bully comes out and he taunts him, saying, "Yeah, right, I'm not gonna get in the ring with you. Fuck you." And just before he leaves, Christopher Daniels comes out wearing a Fortune t-shirt and jumps him and beats the living crap out of him, and then throws him into the ring, and we have an impromptu brawl. Outside, then as they're brawling on the inside, the TV champion Gunner comes up, and he and Daniels decide to have a fight. Inside, it wasn't a match, it was just a straight up fight between these two. But AJ gets the better of him, lays him out on the table, and it looks like he's going to go for a top of the cage dive onto the table, but Bully moves out the way, and he leaves just before AJ could do anything. Next up, in that same segment without any commercial breaks, Rob Terry and Murphy come out, and they call out Beer Money and challenge them for the TNA World Tag Team titles. To this I say, yeah, right. Tiff, the freaking Murphy, thinking they have a shot against Beer Money, and Beer Money pretty much had the same reaction. They came out, laughed at them for even thinking that they were on the same level as them, and even grants their request for a title match. So, first match, the freaking Murphy versus Beer Money inside a steel cage for the tag titles. This was an okay match. It had its moments, but it's still clear that Murphy is boring, and the Freak is still green as spinach. It is really that's just Beer Money leading the match mostly. But in the end, they handle their business. Beer Money retains. Of course, they're not going to drop the TNA's not that stupid to drop a belt to those two. Next up, we have Murder, Death, Kill. See it? Murder, Death, Kill. That's the sign that the Jarretts are coming out after Jeff's crushing victory over Kurt Angle this Sunday, which resulted in Jeff suffering a couple of broken ribs. He said they come on in this white horse and a white carriage, they're wearing all white, and they're just doing all this lovey-dovey mushy bullshit that I come to hate about them. Crap. Next up, Hogan comes out with a lead pipe, and RVD comes out. And once again, I will point out that this is another point where the characters are actually talking about to Hogan in such a way as it makes him seem delusional. RVD comes out and he says that Hogan used to represent respect, and he used to be widely respected in the business, but nowadays no one wants to see him on camera, and they just want him to go the hell away because Hogan is not important anymore. Sure, he held professional wrestling on his back for several years, but there's too much bad that has happened with him that outweighs the good. Next up, Sting comes out. Sting says that the network made a deal with him that if he should retain his title at Lockdown, then he could pick his next opponent at Sacrifice. And he chooses RVD. Hogan, of course, goes apeshit, looking like a punk with that pipe. He will have that pipe for the rest of the night, but he will never ever use it. He's just there. But anyway, he says that tonight, that both RVD and Sting have a match tonight. RVD will face off against the man who pretty much turned him into hamburgers last year, Abyss, and Sting will face off against Cold Cuts Fat Hardy for the TNA World Title. Next up, I missed a few spots, but next up, Mexican America comes out. And I will say this is the worst name for a heel stable ever. Now, and these are not even inventive. This is just angry Mexicans angry at the system for no reason. You want to hear some great Mexican heels, Mexican stables? The Tino World Order, Filthy Animals, the friggin' Mexicools were a better group than friggin' Mexican America. And of course, they try to cut a promo, and I shoot myself in the head. Or I want to. Joe stopped me. Then they have an impromptu tag match between Sarita and Rosita versus Rain and Tara, who were having their differences after Rain got totally squashed at Lockdown. This match is totally forgettable and throwaway and complete and utter garbage. It was just crap. Who won? Who cares? The match sucked. Next up, we have Karen Angle's coronation as the Queen of the Mountain. Didn't Raw do this already with Michael Cole? Something to think about. Anyway, the Jarretts get in the ring pontificating and proclaiming their love for each other as Jeff goes to crown her his Queen of the Mountain. And then from out of nowhere, it starts raining shit on Karen Angle. Not just regular shit, horse shit. And this was some real shit because it was stinking up pretty badly. And just dumped all over her. And Jeff is avoiding her, doesn't want anything to do with her, doesn't want to mess with her. That's when Kurt jumps in the ring. And Angle slams him on the chair, ribs first. Now that must have really, really hurt. He picks up the mic and he says that, Karen, while I may not be able to hurt you, I know someone who will. She's my mistress. You can call her Miss Angle. And she's going to come and kick your ass. Only thing I liked about this segment, Karen, I can now say that Karen Jarrett is the shit because she was covered in shit. See what I did there? Next up, the Monster Cheese Abyss versus RVD. This was a typical Abyss match, meaning most of the time he's just getting beaten and thrown around like a used volleyball. And really hardly got any offense in. And when he did, it just looked like his usual ham-fisted punches. Anyway, at one point in the match, I think his two front teeth got knocked out and he was bleeding heavily from the mouth. Hogan tries some interference with his lead pipe and the ref tries to throw him out and he's like, "You can't do that to me, brother. I own the company. I have unlimited power. Until the network says I don't." Somehow, Abyss gets the lead pipe, hits RVD with it, nails the lazy black hole slam, and picks up the win. Then Hogan waddles his old, decrepit, busted up ass in the ring, and he tries to do, he looks like he's going to do something, but then Crimson runs in and just runs him off. Oh, before this, there was a segment between Anderson and Hogan. And Hogan reiterates that he doesn't like him and says that if it was 8 years and 8 back surgeries ago, things would be a lot different. Yeah, you'd get your ass kicked a lot more than you should be getting right now. Alright, next part, Matt Morgan comes out and says that now that he's done with Hernandez, it's time for him to move on to bigger and greener pastures. So he's going for the World Heavyweight title. That's when Scott Steiner comes in and cuts the usual Scott Steiner promo of insane nonsense mixed with academic terms. He pretty much says that Matt hasn't been paying him the respect he deserves, and and of course that's him doing his thing. Morgan says he patterned his entire career after him, being a collegiate athlete who transitioned successfully into professional wrestling. But he says that while he respects him, if he gets in his way, he's going to stomp the shit out of him. In which Steiner low blows the guy and beats the crap out of him. Next, we get a segment with Matt Hardy cradling the Divas title, aka Jeff Hardy's coked up title, saying how much it meant to him. And he gets on Sting about the fact that he threw it away and threw it down like it was garbage, like it was a piece of shit. Newsflash, Matt, it is a piece of shit. Also, another newsflash, Sting didn't throw it out. Hogan did. And you're working for the guy. Yeah. He pretty much called your brother a piece of crap, and you're just gonna go behind him. TNA logic. Anyway, we come to our main event. Matt Hardy versus Sting for the World Heavyweight title. Now, Hardy comes out with Immortal, but Sting comes out flanked by Fortune, who proceed to beat the crap out of Immortal. Then Sting starts to beat the crap out of Hardy, until Gunner comes up, not clutching the TV title in his teeth like a dog anymore. Hits him with a lead pipe. What's up with these fucking lead pipes everywhere? Are they next to a hardware store or something? Did they have a buy one get 5 lead pipes for free? What the fuck? So Sting's leg is taken out, and we have our match. It's pretty standard. I will say this: Sting is a lot slower than Matt, which made him look a lot bit faster compared to how it normally is. But he hits the Scorpion Death Drop. 1, 2, 3. Sting retains. Like they were going to give Fat Hardy the title. Silly marks. But then Anderson comes out, hits Sting with the mic check, as well as hitting Fat Hardy with it, and says that he's still coming after him, regardless of who has the title. And so that's how Impact ends. My verdict: another boring show. I mean, sure, we had some matches, but a lot of them were just boring. Some segments dragged on a little too long. I will say this: Karen Angle getting covered in horseshit, highlight of my week. Only would have made it, and the only thing that would have been better than that is if Michael Cole was mugged outside of London by angry soccer fans and curb stomped into a bloody mess, and then pissed on. But this is a close second. But yeah, that was Impact. Tune in tomorrow when I hopefully review it's a WWE SmackDown. It's the last SmackDown before the draft. And the speculations continue about who will be drafted to what show. Well, what's going to happen? You're just going to have to find out. So until then, this is shintigercurl, that dude in the straw hat, and Joe, saying goodnight, and wrestle on.